Good afternoon, viewers. This is Dr. Ashok Kumar Das, Assistant Professor in Marketing and Strategy area. And today we are going to have a discussion on a very interesting topic, marketing and managing sales displays, which is part of your MMPM02 course and comes under Block 2, Unit 6. So let's proceed with the subject. So let's understand the entire evolution of retail industry. The entire evolution of retail industry. Why you need to understand that? Because of the very simple reason that the enormity of sales displays or the merchandising that is really being done today primarily takes its root or kind of owns its roots rather say with the retail evolution that has really taken place in India in the last few years. So let's understand what exactly has been the change and how magnificent has been the change. Let's try to figure it out. If you observe the last 2 decades of the country and you see the entire retail ecosystem really emerging out of nothing, it has really taken a very giant stride forward. If you try to go and consider yourself lucky to get into even a small town nowadays, you'll find that there are n number of retail outlets which are really coming up, and there is no stopping them. If you try to really go deep into the understanding of why this evolution has really happened and how quickly it has really grown in the last few years, one thing for sure, the growth has been monumental, so to say, and the growth is phenomenal, you can say. So, what improvements you have seen in a quality perspective? The size of the retail outlets, the location of the retail outlets, the nature of selling operations, exteriors, interiors, merchandise displays have qualitatively improved. You talk about size, we have probably grown bigger than earlier. In terms of location, we are going to be available in the post localities of the state or post localities of the city or post localities of the district. And the nature of selling operation as of now has really covered almost everything. You go to a retail outlet, you go to a retail mall, you probably find that all sorts of products, all sorts of goods are being sold, and they are going to be offering the customer a solution which is available under one rooftop. So that really kind of provokes the customer into getting into the store for the simple reason that he is going to be finding all his solutions in one particular kind of place. The exterior is drawn particularly to attract the customers. If the exteriors are done well, that really has a very nice positive visual impact on the customers, on the prospective customers, you can say. The interiors are also being taken care of because it really wants to give the best possible atmospherics to the customer. If your interiors are done well, this really kind of makes the entire shopping experience a very memorable kind of an experience. And of course, the way the merchandise is really being displayed, that has really gone for a massive sea change. At the same time, if you understand the qualitative improvements and understand the thing about competition, the competition among retail stores for the customer attention has driven this particular kind of improvement. I am having a store, and if I really enjoy a kind of monopoly in the entire place, probably I will be really little bit of not conscious about the customer and their satisfaction, their feelings, and their opinions, or even their sense and sensibilities. So what I have got to understand is that the customer is really going to be taken care by me. If I do not do it, there is someone else sitting just in a world of me. He is really going to be taking the customer away from me. So when you understand that it is because of the emergence of a more alert customer or a more attentive customer, this has really gone big. And the reason is as the customers are becoming more wise, more knowledgeable, you can say, more informed. So the choice of the customers have really gone for a sea change. So when the customer has become much more choosy and he is not really going to be settling at just about anything that will diss him out, you are going not to be really taking the customer for granted anymore. He is going to be dictating to you, this is what I want, this is how I want it, and this is when I want it. So you as a retail outlet have got to satisfy the totally emerging needs of a multitude of customers all across the country, all across the globe. At the same time, the customer also suffers from information overload. Like for example, Indian customers are exposed to a plethora of information from various sources. You talk about TV as a medium, you talk about print as a medium, you talk about broadcast as a medium, you talk about even your mobile phones and all these kind of avenues which are possibly going to be handled by the potential advertising people. They have really tried to grab everything so that the customer really doesn't escape from their cloth, so to say. So when I, as a customer, am listening to so many things from so many different sources, of course, there is going to be information overload because I don't have the space or I don't have the intent as well to really try and accommodate to all this kind of information which might not be of any use to me in tomorrow's time. So I, as a customer, have become much more wise, much more discerning, so to say, to ward off any kind of information which I feel is not really going to be making any sense to me at this given moment of time. So the customer also faces difficulty in retaining and processing information during the purchase. You retain the information that is being given to you may not be possible. You can't really retain all the information that is really being told out to you. And if you are not able to retain it, forget the processing parts. So I don't remember you. I don't really take my next step forward. I don't really try to really understand more about you or more about your product and services are on offer. So what I need to understand is that there cannot be a customer or information overload to really expect that the customer is truly going to be patronizing me. Now, the topic that we are going to be covering today is regarding merchandising and managing sales display. So let's understand what is the importance of sales display. Well, if you go by the logic of customer traffic, sales displays is a very crucial method for attracting customer traffic in stores. The way you are going to be making it attractive, the way you are going to be making it pretty much, kind of very much in a way to really grab the attention of the customer. If you are able to do it, then probably the customer is automatically going to get directed towards your store. If you do not have any kind of attractive kind of displays in your stores, probably you really are going to be failing to attract quality customers. Well, customers are coming for two purposes. One, they have a real clear credible need and you have got a solution for it or you have got a kind of a product for it. He has got to come and buy it because he doesn't have any option. And second kind of customers come to your store to really have a feel of the store. Like for example, you go to a place like a Smart or you go to Big Bazaars or you go to Pantaloons or you go to West Side, wherever you go, you are not primarily always going with the sole intention of buying your desired product. You don't normally go and enter into a big mall with a list in your hand or with a list in your mobile phone. So you are going to be really getting attracted by a product which is really so splendidly well displayed, and probably that is going to be generating interest for that particular product by you. So that may really happen. So displays are going to be integral part of merchandising, particularly in influencing purchase decisions. Believe me, if you are ugly, if you are not really going to be able to attract the attention of a customer, the chances are that if he or she doesn't have a serious requirement for the product, he is or she is going to be ignoring the product. So here you cannot afford to be ignored anymore, because if the customer still has a need and really ignores you, that means he is searching for a better ambience to purchase it from. He is searching for a better kind of quality of atmospherics, where probably his entire shopping experience is going to be pretty positive and he's really going to be driven by not the logic or the requirement of buying the product. Rather, he is much more going to be inspired by the pleasure of purchasing a product in a big mall. So he might be just observing that all the big retail outlets, they are so nicely located and they are all so much investing on exteriors as well as interiors. That is a must. So what is the role in visual merchandising? Different types of sales displays as part of visual merchandising gain importance. Research indicates that up to 60% of purchase decisions are made within the store. The point that I was making just a few minutes back. 60% of purchase decisions are made within the store. It's not a small number. So if 60% of decisions are being made within the store, they are not being made because the products are pretty illogically or irrationally being displayed. the products are displayed with some kind of sense, some kind of purpose, some kind of intent, and some attractive way of really getting displayed. That's why you as a consumer really fall a victim to that quality of display. It really is so attractive that you just can't take your eyes off. So if you cannot do it, then probably you are getting increasingly drawn towards the product. Look, let me go and check it out. Let me go and figure it out. Let me go and understand what the product is all about. So in that process, you are really indulging in the second stage of sales management, as I have already told you, the trial stage. So you are going to be experimenting. Let me see how good the product is. Well, it is primarily happening 60% of time because of the quality of visual merchandising that retail outlet really comes up with. That is pretty crucial to understand. And probably, if you are talking about small villages, even the small village guy who has got a small store in the outskirt of a village, he is also trying to display his goods or display his products in a manner which is really going to be visible to all and probably is going to be really done in an attractive way. You even can consider going to a small hut. You can even consider going to a small kind of place in a small village where food items and vegetable items are being sold. What they do is they try to really to give it a kind of a new dimension in which the entire things are being displayed. They are so nicely, articulately kind of displayed. Probably that really draws your attention. You just kind of feel like stopping by. So when you stop by, you normally don't stop by and again proceed without really trying to take a pause and think about it. That thinking may not be really inculcating in may not be really kind of resulting in a purchase decision there and there, but at the back of your head you are still carrying the feeling, well, if I am going to be buying a product like this is the best place possible. That is really becoming possible because of the way in which the visual merchandising is being made. So how do you influence purchase decisions? Retailers, as a rule, need to influence purchase decisions on the sales floor. Once the customer comes in, you as a retailer start getting into action. What you do is you are going to be really trying to be studying the customer, studying the behavior of the customer, trying to really profile the customer in your mind, and try to understand what exactly is going to be the tone and language and pitch of mine, so that the customer is really going to be happily listening to me. Retail sales display serves as a vital visual marketing tool for persuading customers to make purchases. Sales display, like I've already told you, are going to be playing a vital visual merchandising tool. The way the saris in a store is being designed and kept, and the dress materials that is being kept, the kind of personal care products that is being kept in a kind of retail outlet, that really inspires you to really go and have a feel of it. Okay, so now this is pretty interesting, and this is really going to be gaining currency as you really proceed. So how do you understand what merchandising is? In a retail context, this merchandising involves deciding what to buy, identifying the target audience, and determining how products will be arranged in the store. It also encompasses activities from procurement to actual sale. Everything that you do, starting from getting your procurement done to actually selling it, to going through some certain kind of tangible cues and intangible cues, deciding what to buy exactly, identifying your target audience, everything is really going to be revolving around your marketing efforts. Many companies really claim to be very successful in selling, not because their products are really extremely qualitatively supreme. No, they have really made a habit of trying to entice the customer by the sheer, kind of creativity done in the displays, or the way the products are really being kind of put forward. So, what are the roles and responsibilities of merchandising? Let's understand that. I think the first thing that you try to understand is, I as a retail outlet owner, or I as a head of merchandising, should really try and go for sales analysis and forecasting. Sales forecasting is one, important clue, and sales analysis is probably a little bit more important than sales forecasting. Why do I say that? Because if you are generating sales and you keep on doing the same stuff day in, day out, you are not really stopping by and really trying to understand what is happening and why it is happening. I think answering to that, why it is happening, is really part of your sales analysis. So when you're doing this analysis, then you are going to be really going deep into it. You are trying to really point out, well, this is the profile of my customer who is going to be buying my product. This is the kind of purchasing ability of my customer who is really going to be paying for this range of my products, or this is the probably the paying capacity of my customer who probably cannot afford to buy a product beyond this particular kind of price point and all. So that makes your job pretty dicey, in the sense that you are going to be really not just try to understand, look, we had 100 customers who really had a footfall in my store, and out of 100, 60% is really kind of got converted into really buying something, and 40% just this came, saw, and vanished. That really tells you nothing. That really is going to be helping you find if 100 customers are going to be turning up every day, and that really happens for the next 30 days continuously, then probably out of 30 on 30 multiplied 100 multiplied 60%, this is going to be the only number of customers who are probably going to be buying a product. That really tells you half of the story. The full story is, let us understand who these 60% of customers are who are really buying your product. Why do they buy it? Does it really have to do anything with their age, their gender, their income, their occupation, their timing has got any role to play? You are going to be going a complete threadbare analysis of everything. Okay. So apart from that, the role and responsibilities really doesn't stop at that. It also can be selection of buyers and product range. Who is your buyer? Do you select your buyer? Do you really influence your buyer into coming to you and buying your product? And of course, your product range that you are going to be having under your production kind of places. Okay. Now, how many products I should be ideally producing? Is 30 a good number, or I should go for 10 more, or I should reduce it to 10 and really try to bring it down to 20? How do you really reach this? If I'm going to be really having 30 products, then why 30? Why not 25 or 35? So this is really going to be a pretty disturbing question for the fellow who is really going to be in control of the entire market and activities. He has got to really very scientifically try to understand what range of product I should really be ideally producing. And I do really find that these products, if not really taken up by the customer today, do stand a very strong chance of being picked up by the customers tomorrow morning. So I am going to have a veritable mix between the products that are on demand now today and the products that might be really creating demand in future. So I am really going to have a very nice judicious balance between what really sells now and what has got a potential to sell at a future date. That is what you have got to again do. That's part of your responsibility. Your responsibility is again going to be extended into space allocation, range planning, and of course product display. Now, what is that space allocation? How much space should be really given to which particular category of product? I mean, you are not really operating in an infinite space kind of system. You have got limited space, limited kind of places where probably you can really go and display your product. Everything is almost kind of fixed, and it is fixed. You cannot really help it to be really changed. So you have to go for proper space allocation to proper kind of products. Well, you might be using some kind of logic of yours, like which product sells faster, who are the people who really refuse to go to the first floor or go to the second floor, or who are the people who are really enjoying going to the first floor and second floor. Lot of considerations are really going to be kind of understood before I really allocate a particular space for particular kind of product or particular range of product. For example, if you really normally go and observe in a pretty good kind of a standard retail outlet, well, you will see that all the electronic goods and all this stuff, they are at the topmost kind of floor. Normally you see the garments and stuff like that, the shoes and all this stuff, they are really available at the ground floor. And in the second floor or the first floor, probably there is this food item being available. If you observe all these things, this is not really done mindlessly by any idiot. This has really been done by studying the appetite of a customer towards the product. What they come and what they really want to see upfront. Are they really going to be coming to eat here? No. So if a customer is really serious about having a food item, then he has got to take the pain of going through the lift and landing at the first floor or the second floor. Let him take the pain because he is really trying to enjoy things and all. Whereas if you understand that the basic products are always available at the ground floor, so that always requires the range planning of yours. What kind of product range that you are going to be selling to the customers, and of course the way the product is being displayed. all the good retail outlets who really deal with sophisticated HNI kind of customers, they are really going to be having a very nice creative way of displaying their products. Why do they do it? I told you they do it to grab customers' attention and do it pretty faster than the next best competitor available in the market nearby. Category management is another role and responsibilities. Like, for example, let's understand the important aspects of merchandising that involves grouping products based on consumer decision trees. I think you must have heard about consumer decision making trees. I mean, it's like, systematically you go by this. If it doesn't happen, then I don't go by this way. If it happens, then I go by this particular way. I cannot really have a display on at this moment of time, but I can assure that the consumer decision tree is an outcome of a very clear-cut decision being taken by a manufacturer or a retail outlet owner. He is really going to be having those products which are really going to be logically linked with one another. For example, if someone is going to be buying a pair of dresses, some kind of clothing items maybe, or a pair of shoes maybe, he might be really triggered to buy more of personal care products. He might be going for some kind of toiletries, some kind of soaps and shampoos, and some kind of cosmetics as well. Okay, because he is really going to be buying something which are almost similar to what exactly he has really purchased right now. For example, categorizing beverages into alcoholic and non-alcoholic can be done. Further into fruit juice or cola drink. If it is an non-alcoholic kind of a drink, you can categorize whether the customer is really going to be going for fruit juice or is going to go for cola drink. Then you talk about product assortment, decision making on leading brands, SKU contribution, unit size, and private versus national brands. How do you assort your products? Leading brands are leading brands. They are going to be displayed at the very point where the customer is going to have a face off. He is really going to be seeing the products, seeing the brands when he is really going to be entering into your store. Because these are leading brands, that really gives you a very kind of elitist or sophisticated kind of an image about your own kind of outlet. You're not really going to be storing your ordinary brands upfront, just to really kind of nullify the good thing that you might be really able to create in a customer's mind. That really nullifies everything that you've really done so far. Your unit size, like how many units you are going to be having, and of course the private and the national brands debate is really going on for till it may really go on for eternity. Okay, whether you are going to be going for private brands or you are going to be going for national brands. Some outlets I have noticed, they are really trying to be encouraging their own private brands because they believe that, well, the customer has really come with my own goodwill, so why not try to promote my own branded products, which really carries my name, and my name is not irrational or not so reputed kind of a name. I also have some kind of reputation in the market, so let me really try to seize this opportunity to try to promote my own private brand. Might work, and in many cases it has been observed. If you are giving a comparison between national brands versus private brands, the more elite customers, the more knowledgeable customers, rather I would say, they are skewed in favor of the national brands than the private brands. This is what my personal observation is. I might be wrong as well. Crucial for effective merchandising, that is what product assortment can do. Space management is another pretty important thing. It also involves your layout, fixturing, display, and shelf space allocation. This shelf space is a very critical thing for any retail outlet. Why? Purely for the simple reason that your shelf space is limited and the customer is not really going to be looking beyond the shelf. He is or she is going to be stopping by the shelf. If he is seeing this, that it is available, he is going to give it a further thought or a second thought. And if it is not available, then he simply refuses to accept that there can be a product like this, which is not really being on display, but still it is really kind of getting stocked in the godown. Okay, the customer doesn't really feel like going to the godown for any reason, right? Okay, and irony is that your shelf space is always limited. So in your limited shelf space, you are going to be accommodating to many different kind of products which you feel do stand a chance of quickly being taken up by the customers. So you have to use lot of logic, lot of judicious choice, lot of your own sense of appreciating what might work and what might not work. Everything boils down to understanding that you are going to be promoting the best products in your best space for the best of the customers. As simple as that. So space management is also critical for optimizing the retail space. Why do you optimize the retail space? It is because your space is limited. As simple as that. Okay. So because your space is limited, you are not really going to be proceeding to take any chances, which might just actually backfire. The next issue that I want to raise is regarding the visual merchandising part. So let's define what visual merchandising is all about. It involves space allocation, planning product range, and displaying selected products in a retail store. Now, what you do in the space allocation is you really want to figure out how much space to be utilized by which particular kind of activity, which particular kind of product to be displayed and all. Your product range planning is also going to be dependent on that. What kind of range of products you are going to be planning, right? Do I really plan for more or do I really plan for less, or am I really happy with whatever range that I'm having at the moment? I'm not really concerned about tomorrow's market scenario. I do not really see any logic in trying to think beyond the today and the ordinary. And if you are going to do that, then of course it is not going to be helping you. You have to display your selected products in a retail store. Now, what you would do is you have to display your selected products in a retail outlet purely because your displays are going to be giving a signature to the customer. Look, this store stands for this, or this store is absolutely uncompromising on these kind of things by your products. So, what is the objective of visual merchandising? Educating customers about products through creative presentation. That can be the objective one. Your job is not only to sell, you are also going to be doing a nice creative presentation to your customers. You are not really trying to educate them and stop at that. You are also trying to be a kind of ambassador who is really going to be selling the concept of the product and services to the customers. So by educating, you are indirectly trying to create a customer who would not have been created had there been no kind of creative presentation really being done by people like you. Facilitating the selling process from browsing to buying. Well, we all normally go through a lot of browsing and all. You really keep on browsing until you feel that, well, I have really done it all. Now is the time to really take a kind of break and try to think of taking a decision to buy a product. So you are going to be facilitating the whole process of selling from browsing to buying. That's pretty important because if your customer keeps on browsing and keeps on browsing for as long as he wants, you are not really going to be generating sales out of it. So you have really quickened the entire process or facilitated, as they say, the entire process from browsing to buying, creating an impactful environment with a strong recall value. If your merchandising doesn't really stand a recall value, then you are finished for the second time. To be able to be picked up by the customers for the second consecutive time is to ensure that your product is having a strong recall value. How do you generate that? You are going to be generating that by sheer dent of quality. If you are selling a quality product to a customer, he is not going to come back if he is not happy. He is going to come back if he is happy. And if he is happy, he is going to come back, not the product. That is a pretty important observation. If a customer is happy, he comes back. He comes back for repeat purchase. That is a demonstration of his loyalty to your kind of a brand. And if a product is coming with strong complaint with a red face, you are going to be attracting customer attention and assisting them in fulfilling their needs. You are going to be attracting customer attention and assisting them in fulfilling their needs. The customer has come to fulfill his needs, not your needs. Your need is to dispose of the product or to sell the product. His need is to fulfill his wants, fulfill his dreams. So you, by providing him or her with the product, are not only really just solving his everyday problem, you are also trying to make him see the bigger picture, the bigger dream that he is really going to be seeing through your service or your product. That is something which you have got to remember. Now, what is the meaning of sales display? As simple as this: showcase the range of product that you are going to be offering. That's it. And what does it do? It enhances in-store appearances and highlights product features. It is going to be highlighting the product feature and it's also going to be enhancing the in-store appearances. What is the importance of it in retail? This sales display is an integral part of store design and atmosphere setting. The way your products are being displayed, the way you are going to be keeping your product ready for the consumer to really see and check and figure it out is really going to be telling the whole story about who you are. You are not really supposed to be really dumping all your products at one particular go down and try to kind of tell the customer, look, this is what your all the products are really looking like. Come and have a look. He is never going to go and check all the products if they're really stacked up in a go down. That's those days are gone. You are going to be influencing consumer psyche from the first view of the store. Well, as human beings, we are always affected by the visual impact. If it is appealing to my senses, if it is appealing to my kind of a feeling, then I might just feel like, yes, this one is looking nice. Let us go and check. So that let us go and check really starts with checking with the place, checking with the product, checking with the services, and the next thing that you do is you are unknowingly becoming a customer of that because they have really kind of understood that this man is here for fun and is really going to be going back with lots of positive memories. Critical for retailers in of all sizes, from big box retailers to small kirana or departmental stores. Now, retail is really going to be dominating and it has dominated so far. Starting from your big box retailers to small kirana or even departmental stores, they have really tried to dominate and control in all sizes, in all places, in all kind of dimensions and all. Okay. What are the key elements of it? Just give me 10 seconds. The key elements of good prominent sales displays are store name or tagline is very clearly visible. If your store name is not visible, then customer feels that well, you are a lousy guy who has really no intent of doing good business. That shows that you really don't care about your own store name even. And if your tagline is not really visible, they're also not going to kind of feel that well, this guy can be serious, this guy can be really positive or creative. Window and external displays for capturing attention. External displays, you might have seen it in good cities or good towns where the external displays are really done so creatively, so beautifully that really makes you feel like stopping. You are not really going to be kind of just running away from it. You have got to really have that feeling that yes, there is something absolutely beautiful, enchanting on display. Let me really try and see what is inside. It's kind of attracts you to the main store itself. Utilization of props and display elements for thematic presentation. This is also being done. Props, display elements for a specific way of presenting a particular kind of a product. If a product is newly arriving in your store and you are really going to be giving it just another ordinary kind of way of treatment, probably it really stands to die a natural death. So what you need to do is you are going to be utilizing prop or display element for a theme that you are going to be choosing to really try to make this product visible to your customers. So what is the objective of sales display? There are multiple objectives. To quote a few, the first and most important objective of sales display is maximize your product exposure. You are going to be exposing your product to many number of people who may or may not be your serious buyers. Doesn't matter. You might be really facing that, well, 10 to 20% of customers are serious customers, the rest are not. Let it be that way. These 10 to 20% of customers are going to be your customers today. And if they're happy about the whole experience of buying the product, they might just go and tell a positive word of mouth to many other number of people. So maybe the 10 to 20% is going to be really, kind of moving up or kind of getting enhanced to something like 20 to 30% is in 1 year time. You never know. It also has another objective, the sales display part I'm talking about. It can also enhance the product appearance. How does the product really look like? This is really going to be elevating the appearance of the product in a great way. Stimulate product interest. Well, your appearance and you, the product, if it is really a good product, of course, it is going to be stimulating the interest in the mind of the customer. Exhibit product information. You are not simply trying to be, kind of sounding pretty fanciful, pretty much creative, just to really try to, make a product get look, kind of look like a big thing. But you are also going to be providing the customer with little bit of pretty significant information as you feel is really needed by the customer. It facilitates sales transactions as well. Well, because the product is on display, it is pretty easier for the product for the customer to really try and see the product and really check it out in the counter. Ensure product security because it is displayed nicely. You provide product storage, it is stored well because the quality of display is really pretty good. Remind customers of planned purchases. Well, you don't expect, like I told you a few minutes back, you don't expect that the customer who has really tried to buy A, B, C and has really been exposed to X, Y, and Z is not going to buy X, Y, Z in his lifetime at all. No, he has stored it in his mind or in her mind that, well, XYZ were looking very attractive, very good. The last time that I really have gone for a purchasing kind of an experience. So I'm going to be planning it to buy the next time around. I'm really going to be visiting the same store. So this is really going to be reminding customers of your planned purchases. You are also going to be generating additional sales of impulse items. Now, what is an impulse item? Impulse items are those items where you really do not give it a serious thought, but still end up buying it. For example, I am moving in a store to buy my grocery items A, B, C, X, Y, Z, and M, N, O, and suddenly I discover that there is a chocolate which is a newly, freshly introduced kind of a flavor. So I might just as well get kind of affected by the way it is being displayed, the way it has really been kind of put up in the store. So I ask out of curiosity, is it a new brand that is being launched? They'll say, yes, madam, or yes, sir, you don't probably know about it. Yeah, it was just launched, let's say 3-4 days back. Go and have a test of it. Now you are involving yourself in a lot of impulse purchases because of the quality of display. Imagine the same chocolate really kind of put in a kind of a showcase or something like a wooden place may not really have really got the attention of the customers. So the attention has been grabbed, then the interest has also been created, and when the interest has been already been created, there is a physical product which really wants to be picked up by the customer. Threefold job of displays. What are the job of displays? Why people are increasingly showing a lot of interest in the display business. Attract people who might not go into the store. Well, you are always in a tearing hurry. You really don't have time to really go and kind of park your car or park your bike or get down from a train or get down from flight and get down from buses and all and stop at a particular kind of a store because you have got other plans in your mind that I might just have to go and order it online and all. But people who are really going to be conscious about the aesthetics of it, the way the products are being displayed, they might just give it a second thought. Let me go and see what other products are really available in this particular kind of a store. You are also exposing visitors to buying suggestions inside the stores. Well, visitors are always going to be listening to the suggestion of the storekeeper because they understand that the storekeeper, because he's the storekeeper, knows more about the product, more about the services than I do know as an outsider. The third job of display is inducing buyers to purchase more through smart packaging or displays. I think today what we all are experiencing is more of this. More buyers are induced to purchase more through smart packaging or smart displays. The packaging is so nicely, so meticulously, so creatively done. It always kind of triggers a very positive emotion in your mind to really go and buy the product then and there. If you go to retail stores like Bata, Raymond's, Pantaloon, Big Bazaar, Zara, Titan watches, CAT Shop, These all are the kind of examples who really demonstrate the power of sales displays. The display is so nicely done, it is so funnily sometimes done that that you really feel like, come on, yeah, this is really looking pretty attractive. Let me really try to go deep, into the store and really try to figure out what are the products that are really come all the way, and what are the kind of products that are really kind of displayed to be on sale and all. So that really generates, in one simple word, it really generates curiosity in the customer's mind. What is the overall impact of quality sales displays? This projects a retail outlet's personality. Who you are pretty fanciful, pretty much decorative, pretty much, kind of out of the box. So that speaks in the voice and the language of your display. If you are a traditional mindset kind of a person, or you are a traditional shopper, you are not going to be really getting attracted by these kind of sales displays at all. But yeah, if you understand that India as a country has got more younger population than the older population, and the younger population, that they are going to be really going for the quality of display. Can the display be so well done that I really feel like automatically getting drawn towards it? If that is what you can achieve, then your job as a retail outlet is half done. Create store atmospherics. Give an ambience to the customers where they really feel comfortable to buy your product, to even search for your product. Okay. And having given atmospherics, having created your own personality of your own retail outlet is not enough. What are you ultimately going to be stopping by? You are going to be stopping at stimulating desire to buy. The desire to buy should be there with the customers. I cannot just move around in the AC, in the light, in the kind of, here you have a washroom, there you have water plenty available, so there are food items. You're just trying to kill your kill your time. In that particular kind of store, we are really buying anything. No, you as a retail outlet has got to stimulate the desire in the customer to really buy the products. You are going to be making constant announcement. You are keeping the customer on his or her toes, keeping them busy all the time. And of course, in a direct or indirect way, you are trying to be engaging with the customers. Okay. And you are also going to be acting as a silent salesperson. Why the silent salesperson? Because when the customer is already inside the store, he or she doesn't want to be really kind of, held their hands, and someone is really going to be trying to play the role of the big brother and trying to explain them, look, here is a product which can do this, or there is a product which can do that. No, I do not want to be really almost interrogated by people like you to really tell me, well, what possibly this product can do. I know it. So what are the principles or the aesthetics of display? Principle of unity. This is pretty crucial. Elements of the display should appear unified as a whole. The whole element of display should be really uniform. Like, if you go to a bank, you see one single color running all through. HDFC is having blue, ICICI Bank is having red, and things like that. So you go to a particular mall or you go to a particular kind of retail outlet, you understand that this is the way they really want to really decorate themselves. Lack of unity leads to clutter and confusion. You cannot have first floor in one color, second floor in another color, and ground floor in a totally different color, and you are the same organization or the same retail outlet, which is going to be spreading the message of unity or uniformity in its all activities, all its marketing and all. Principles of balance. Harmony among components on display. You can't really have much of mismatched colors or colors which are really highly contrasting to each other. You cannot just have this kind of colors on display. Formal or informal balance options. So that is again crucial to understand. Principle of contrast. Focus on product by stressing contrast. Focus on a product by stressing contrast. Now, what you need to do is you are going to be having two similar kind of colors, like the back of the the color of the wall and the product which is really being put just in front of it. No. This is going to be a contrasting color because of the very simple reason that the product is really going to be more prominently visible, because the background color is really going to be contrasting the color of the product itself. Create visual hierarchies. Like if you have really gone for something like design thinking, or the way the design really is really being done at the laboratories and all in the computers and all. Visual hierarchies can be created where you really understand that, well, here's a product that is more important than the other one, or here's a product which is more kind of priced high than the other one and all. So that really creates a sense of understanding within you. Principle of emphasis or dominance, dominating a display scene or space, that is the most how well you are going to be covering the entire display scene or the entire display space stands out amidst the surrounding environment. Well, if you are dominating the entire display scene or the display space, you are always going to be standing out and get counted. Principle of repetition. You are going to be utilizing a pattern of recurring elements. Now, what is the pattern of recurring elements? You are going to be having the same kind of colors, the same kind of products, the same kind of feel of the entire, kind of product on display throughout. You can also go for aesthetically pleasing and enhancing merchandise retention. This is something which the modern day smart retail outlets have really started doing it and doing it very successfully. Principle of proportion. You are going to be creating compositions with well-defined proportions, and you are also going to ensure that elements look realistic on an overall scale. Principle of color blocking. You are going to be using color psychology in visual merchandising. Warm and cool colors, the pure color blocking. You are going to be trying to show to the customer what you want him to see, not what he wants to see from you. So color blocking also helps in that way. You are also going to be influencing customer responses based on cultural and regional differences. India, as you know, is a country which is far more diverse than any other country in the world. So you have got a lot of cultural differences, a lot of regional differences, and you are going to be influencing your customer responses based on that only. And what is the overall impact? The overall impact is that, well, you are going to be collectively making a product display attractive. You, as a total, complete, integrated retail outlet, has got to have those kind of products which are really going to be uniformly or collectively making themselves attractive. And you are going to be using it in conjunction to create visual appeal and harmony. That is important to understand. What is the significance of display? The first is probably enhancing the shopping experience. Like I told you, if you really feel good within the retail store and your shopping experience is pretty positive, then you feel like going back to the same store again or again and again, you can say. Okay, you are helping the customer to realize that here's a place where he might just feel comfortable, kind of finds it convenient to buy the product, and of course, customer-friendly customer journey. Now, what is the customer-friendly customer journey? You are having a person who is really acting as a guide or a sales guy, who is really helping the customer in locating the product or in really trying to be answering their multiple queries or trying to really kind of do a demonstration of the product itself. How does it work and how does it not work and all? That is pretty crucial also. Facilitating customers' life. Shoppers can locate desired categories and merchandise easily. Well, if I am going to be searching for a product which is lying absolutely unattended and lying in a far up place or lying in a corner which is absolutely unattended by anyone, so I might not be really willing to take that extra pain of trying to go near to the product to search it out and find it out, and as if I'm just trying to dig it out of a buried hole and all. No, it's not my job as a customer. It is your job as a marketer or as a retail outlet guy that you are going to be really making my life pretty easy because I have taken the pain to come to your store to buy the product that I require, but I could have really gone to someone else. Okay, so it also provides self-selection opportunities. That is pretty interesting. You are going to be stacking your product in a self space, and the customer is moving from self A to self B to self C, and he is really going to be finding it out himself or herself that this is a product that I really require. Instead of really asking for someone else's favor, someone else's kind of opinion, he also makes up his mind, look, this is what my product should be really like. He might just really go through multiple occasions where he or she really feels tempted to change the product. That is the way it is. You are also going to be enabling coordination and accessorizing. coordination among your products on display and the people who are going to be doing the selling, to the customer. That is again important. Widely available information on sizes, colors, prices, and recent fashion trends. Well, if you go to a big retail outlet, you are going to be having multiple sizes, multiple colors, at multiple price points, and of course, keeping in touch with the recent into fashion trends and all. So that really makes the life of the customer very, very easy, you can say. And it is a two-way street. If the customer's life is made easier, then of course you are going to be generating more revenue out of him, and you are also going to be making your life as easier as the customer has made it out to be, to be for himself. Visual marketing focus. Where is the focus? You are going to be attracting shoppers for closure, examination, and conversion to purchase. Now you are going to be attracting them for closure, examination, and conversion to purchase. Closure examination is a clear-cut indication that the shopper is really going to be seriously involved in the product itself. That is why he is really doing a closure examination. And of course, when the closure examination is being done, it might just get converted into purchase. Okay. Now you are going to be providing value to the retailer by leveraging visual marketing tools. That is also pretty crucial. Efficiency and time savings. You are going to be increasing purchase efficiency, especially add-on sales. Ergonomic display designs can save time for salespersons, increasing efficiency. Product A is in place B and product B is in place A, and place A and place B are far off places. That is pretty difficult for the salesperson. He doesn't really feel like taking the pain from moving from place A to place B, because the customer is going to be more prone to buy the two products at the same time. For example, if you are going for a food court and one particular product is available and the other product is really pretty much away, kind of stacked up and all, then you feel really pretty irritating to really try to move and cover those long spaces to get to your next food item and all. So that is really something which has got to really understood for increasing efficiency. Store presence and silent salesperson. It also increases the store presence and purchase of the shopper. You are not telling anything, but the way you are decorating yourself or the way that you are going to be presenting yourself, that is going to be functioning as a silent salesperson through your visual cues and your suggestive selling. Now the customer really feels that, well, I'm not really being kind of made to really be sold anything. There is no salesperson who is really going to be insisting that I should really buy something, or no. And that really gives me the freedom, because I'm enjoying the entire shopping experience of mine, and I really have enough of visual cues where probably I really do not want to be suggested by anybody. I can make my own decision to buy my own kind of product and services. If you go by the logic of continuous process, visual merchandising is a continuous process from store conceptualization to functionality. What to be kept where, why, and to what extent I can really afford to really take a chance with the way the color is being utilized, the way the signage has been utilized, the way the presentation is being done, window displays, to name a few. These are many things which are going to be able to create miniature worlds within the store itself. And the customer is really going to be feeling very excited that he is entering the miniature world where all things are available under one roof and accessible very easily by him. What is the role of salesperson in visual merchandising? Salesperson's role is very specific. Like, for example, equipped with knowledge of visual merchandising, the salesperson has got a role like this, and it also benefits in daily sales activities. And sometimes you can have a boomerang effect. Over persuasion by a salesperson might backfire. If you insist that, well, you have got to buy something because you have already entered my store, well, the customer is really going to be finding it very difficult to really accept this kind of a condition the next time that really comes back to your store. You might be wondering, what is the utility of a person if he really comes to my store and really goes back, empty-handed? There is no point in trying to be insisting on a customer to buy things, because if you are insisting, you might just as if to please you buy it for once. For the second time around, he is going to be totally going to be backing out of this and might just go and tell other people, look, These are the people who are really going to be insisting or sitting on your head to try and really sell you something. Don't go there. So that really can have a very negative or boomerang effect by allowing customers to make decisions with subtle visual cues. This should not be really encouraged. You, as a salesperson, can be an observer, can be a data gatherer. That's pretty interesting. You can really observe decision making from a distance. What really is happening when a customer is buying? How does he enter into a store? Who are the people who have really kind of joined him? Who are the people who are discussing when ultimately the customer is going to buy the product? Who are the people who are really trying to bring him, kind of drag him out and tell, look, let's not go and buy this product? Who are the people who are encouraging him to buy the product? If you really observe all these subtle things from a distance, you'll really find it pretty interesting. You are also going to be gathering valuable feedback on store layout, sales display, and visual merchandising. What exactly the store is looking like, instead of you really vouching for it, because it is your dream. So you are going to be asking to an independent customer, how does he really feel about your layout, your sales display, and your, of course, visual merchandising. So it also contributes to enhancing store display and adapting to changing customer choices. That's a fact. Let's understand what is the importance of store design. Crucial role in deciding display types. That's pretty important. It is, again, like I told you in the beginning, it is divided into exterior and interior design. Now, what is exterior design and what is interior design? The exterior design is going to be forming the first impression for a shopper. How does it really look like from a distance? Draws customers' attention and creates an inviting image. Yes, you are really going to be feeling welcome if you really come to this place. That is a kind of open invitation for all kind of customers who might be passing by. Location, signage, and front windows are vital exterior design elements. Your location speaks 50% of what possibly you can really do in your business arena. Your signage, how creatively, how nicely, how seriously, how with good intent you've done it, that also speaks good about you. And of course, your front windows, that is going to be the selling thing for any kind of good exterior design. Interior design starts with the shopper's entry. Where does he get into? Factors like fixtures, product displays, floor design, materials, ceiling, and checkout counters, they are all part of the interior design. How well, how nicely, immaculately well these things have really been designed for the customer. Like for example, your floor design is so smooth and so peaceful and so much relaxing and so much kind of better say giving me a pleasing kind of experience. Of course, I will really feel pretty happy to really shop in your store than just try to move around in a nondescript kind of retail outlet. Philosophy and objectives of the store influences its design. What is the philosophy of the store and what is the objective of the store? That also influences its design. If you're a small-time trader, if you're a small-time retailer, and you are having a store just to have your small businesses, then of course you really don't have to think too much about your exterior or interior. You are going to be having a business by any way. But chances are that you are not always going to be like that. And if you really have a reputation for that, then you cannot really enhance your reputation in future time. Store design philosophy is no frill or heavy discount stores may give minimal importance to interiors. Like I told you already, types of displays can be assortment display, can be theme display, can be coordinated or ensemble displays. Now, what is assortment display? Open or closed, showcasing a wide variety of merchandise. Assortment display can also be common in self-service stores, supermarkets, and bookstores. Theme displays can be unified around a common theme or event, enhancing customer enjoyment and involvement. Examples include seasonal, festival, or store-specific themes. Third can be coordinated or ensemble displays. Now, mannequin dressed in a coordinated outfit, that is part of the coordinated or ensemble displays. You can have suggestive selling approach, selling a concept. You can also do it, and more organizations of late have really started getting into it full time. Unit displays can be another one, like merchandise identical in size or color or shape. They are all going to be displayed together. Classification dominance displays is another way. You have got rack displays where you are going to be used by clothing and household good retailers. Neatly present products on vertical chrome or steel driven racks. Court cases and dump bins can enable inexpensive and effective displays used at wholesale and discount stores. It can be merchandise left open for easy handling by shoppers. It can be videotape displays as well. How do you manage your displays effectively? That is interesting. That is also pretty important. And you have to motivate your retailers. And before I end, just a few end notes. What is the significance of such display? We have understood that, like enhancing store image and attracting shoppers. It is built around aesthetic principles and popular themes, and it is suited to market needs of the product. And how do you manage your sales displays? It requires meticulous planning and execution. Sponsors need an eye for detail, and retailers, crucial for success, need careful handling and motivation. Thank you for your time. It has been a nice experience talking to you all.